So the time has come for the London Sevens final. Fiji versus Argentina, only the third time that the Flying Fijians have found themselves in a final. The last two times being in the Hong Kong Sevens, whereas the Pumas, they have been a consistent side throughout this whole Sevens competition, always competing well against the top sides from all around the world. But in this preview, we will be looking at previous fixtures, key players to watch out for, and then at the end, we will give our prediction of who we think will be winning this final. But first of all, we will look at Fiji's previous games. We're looking at the quarterfinals and the semis. They were able to get out of their group stage not too badly. Fiji only suffering the one loss to Argentina. But we will get to that in a short moment. Fiji in their quarterfinal, managing to get themselves the victory, 19 points to 5 over Australia. Seemed close at the start, but then Fiji slowly working away at them and managed to break them down. Then their semi-final was a lot closer. It was up against New Zealand, 19 points to 17. The Fijians were victorious. They had to come back in that contest. They were down, but scoring the last-minute try with 20 seconds remaining. Little bit of a trick that the Kiwis often end up using in their games, but this time it backfired. It was used against them, and Fiji getting that win in the final moment. So they are sitting currently 4 from 5 victories. The only time that they did lose a game was in their pool stage matchup up against Argentina. They did lose 40 points to 12. So that is quite an interesting game to look at, as normally Argentina wouldn't beat Fiji by that much because that was actually their largest winning margin over the Fijians. And now they come head to head with them in the final. So it's either going to be the redemption story of the Fijians or it's going to be Argentina making it 2 from 2. And speaking of 2 from 2, the Argentines in their playoff games, quarterfinal number 1, they did have up against the Irish. They won it 28 points to 14. The only loss that they had had so far up to that point in the competition was in the pool stage, and that was up against the Irish. So they came back nicely, chose the right game to win up against the men in green. And then in their semi-final, it was also a very close one. They were up against Samoa, managed to win it 10 points to 7. Both semi-finals extremely close. Both quarterfinals for these two sides, they won by 14. There's a lot of similarities in the way that these two sides have progressed through to the final, and it could be the key players that do determine who's victorious. And speaking of those key players, for the Flying Fijians, I think the first player I've got to go with is Waisia Natungu. He has been a key for them in that backline, whether it is setting up the men on his outside or having that piercing run by himself. He is definitely one that could change the game for the Fijians in the future. Also, Wally Soliso, he has been a bulldozer of an individual when he gets the ball in hand, crashing over anyone who stands in his way. And that can help the Fijians massively in this final up against Argentina, because if he can find that offload after crashing into 2 Argentine players, that's going to leave a gap somewhere out there on the park, and the Fijians may just be able to capitalize alongside him. And Natungu, the last player I'm going to say is the key to watch out for, Manueli Maisamoa, one of my favorite Fijian Sevens players, always puts his body on the line and sometimes has those little moments of brilliance that could change this final completely. But now looking through at the Argentine key players, Marcos Mineta, the last few games he's been coming off the bench. I feel for Argentina, if they want their best chance of winning this contest, they do need to start him. And whether that is having him play 9 minutes or so and then taking him off the field, anything will be better than nothing for having Mineta out there in the first half, just because of the acceleration that he's got. He is able to get those kicks in behind, which might be something that Argentina could use to their advantage up against Fiji. So Mineta, he's got to be in the starting side if they want a real shot in this contest. I feel alongside him, Rodrigo Isgro, he did get yellow carded in the last contest, but he's been in a lot of breakdowns throughout this London Sevens competition, also getting himself a few tries along the way. Another one to watch out for their Los Pumas side. And then the third man, I said him in the last matchup as one of the keys for up against the Samoans. That is Hermaine Schultz. He is a tower of an individual. Not too many players around who are taller than him in the Seven circuit, although Logan Amasi might have something to say about that, although he's a bit more solid than Logan Amasi. Got to use that frame to his advantage up against the physical Flying Fijians. But now we are up to that stage of giving a prediction. Now, this one's extremely tough to predict because if you look at the way that they played in the pool stage, you'd say Argentina should have this game every day of the week after beating them by 28 points. But I think that since then, the Fijians have drastically improved. They just managed to take down New Zealand, which is a side that has beaten Argentina in the past, although Argentina, they've had their fair share of victories over the Kiwis as well. So I am going to say, due to the momentum that they've been able to create, due to the passion that this side plays with, the description I just gave could actually apply to both of these sides. But I'm going to say Argentina get themselves the victory, 19 points to 17. Just like the score between Fiji and New Zealand in the semi-final. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. We will be doing the live commentary on the channel, so also be sure to check that out. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.